Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, March 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning that each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, we are taking a look at SNOA. Did this one yesterday, and overall, depending on your perspective, it's going to dictate kind of the how you feel about the chart. So this is always a tricky spot to be in, because if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well then from that standpoint, yeah, the chart looks pretty bad because there was this bigger pullback. But if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, then everything is still totally fine. And I'm going to get rid of that level. And that has to do with this area right here. And just based on a ruling chart in which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And so far, so good. So as of right now, when you look at just where the lows are at, you have a set of lows right here. You have these lows right here. You have these lows down here. And if you envision each one of those as stair steps, what do you have? Well, from the big picture, you still have stair steps very clearly progressing in the upwards direction. Again, I'm well aware that if you're some sort of day trader and you bought right there, you don't care about these stair steps. So that's what I'm trying to distinguish between more of a day trader and someone that cares about the bigger picture point of view. So moving forward right here, $2.95 is now going to be that next key area of support, because again, as long as the price stays above there, then you can make the argument that from the overarching standpoint, the price is still building higher bases. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground now to keep an eye on from the resistance side of things seems to be right here around the $3.80 mark, give or take a little bit. So keep an eye on that if the price can come up there and get a good high volume break of that area. No guarantees, but I think it's valid to think that a high volume break puts it at a good chance of potentially going up there and retesting those highs right there. But all in all, assuming you care about the bigger picture of things, it's been higher highs and higher lows, and that's how you build those overall uptrends. Next one here, taking a look at TNON, an overall very nice mover today, very nice afternoon as the price has just been drifting itself higher and higher. So good stuff from that angle of things. But now let's map out some key levels here moving into Wednesday. So first key level, I would say, is just this trend line right here. So let me change that to green for support. And that's going to be the ideal level. I mean, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? Certainly if the price can stay above here. But from the bigger picture standpoint, not the end of the world if the price doesn't, because from the overarching standpoint, you have this purple line down here, the 50-period moving average. Keyword being moving, that's going to continue to move higher and higher. So it's essentially like an overarching trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So yes, again, preferably speaking, the price staying up above there would certainly be best case scenario. But if the price doesn't hold above there, as long as it is above that level right there, then from the overarching standpoint, the bulls are still in full control. In terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just ask a basic question. Where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at the $2 mark. So $2 will be public enemy number one moving forward. But all in all, anyway, look at it. Good solid day. Next one, RAY. And overall, again, a little tricky to talk about. Depending on your perspective, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you're buying up around there, well then yeah, from that angle, things are not looking very good because there was this bigger pullback, which you're witnessing right here. But if you do just care about more of the overarching standpoint, then everything is still perfectly fine, because even where it is right now, the price still has plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. And as I've been saying, that's the name of the game. Assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, you just want to see those higher highs and higher lows. And in all actuality, sure, the price has pulled back here, but if you're someone that cares about the bigger picture, part of it is saying, yeah, fair enough, it has pulled back recently, but what was occurring before this pullback? And those people would say, well, before the pullback, the price made that big move right there. So from that angle, I've now been able to draw a bull flag pattern. Now, just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. But would it be shocking if the price were to come up here, break through that level, and then that break in and of itself create additional buying pressure? No, I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. So overall, though, assuming you care about the big picture point of view, the best way to really summarize this would just be a bull flag pattern. Next one here, NVDA, and we are at a very, very interesting spot. This will mean more to those of you that have watched the past videos, but if you have been watching the past videos, you know that I've been talking about that resistance line right there, the red level, that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, and how I'd be skeptical of anything until the price can actually get through it. And what do you know it? As of now, the price has broken through both those areas, and as of right now, the price is currently sitting nicely up above that area. All this to say, we now can ask a very interesting question. Is this the start of something bigger? Think about that question. It makes no sense to ask the question if nothing worthwhile is happening. But something worthwhile has happened here. It's finally broken out of the pattern, gotten above the moving average. So yes, is this the start of something even bigger? Now, to be fair, because there are no guarantees, maybe it's not. Maybe the price just rolls right back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something bigger, and NVIDIA is getting ready to rock and roll back to the upside. But the point here is that it's made a significant move. It's broken out of the pattern. So is this break the start of something even bigger in the coming days? We'll see what happens. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And overall, a nice day, not nearly as good as NVIDIA. It's still struggling with a lot of the downtrend lines and really at the core. And as I've been saying, we'll continue to say, I'm not really convinced of anything bullish-wise until the price can prove itself. How am I defining prove itself? Well, by being able to get above and stay above that purple line there, which you now know is that 50-period moving average, current value of that right up here at 245. Now, again, to be fair, though, the price has made a nice move. You can't deny that. From where it is here, to where it moved itself, it is with a nice little upwards channel here. So like I said, it's hard to deny that. You can't take anything away from it. But like I said, I would just be skeptical of this because going back to the whole idea, if you care about the bigger picture, then sure, you can acknowledge that the price is making a move up. But what was happening before this? Well, the price was up here, and then it made this big move down here. So in this situation, we have a bear flag pattern. As I mentioned earlier, just because you have a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. Same is true here. Just because you have a bearish pattern does not mean the price is for sure going to go down. But would it be shocking to people if the price came down here to the bear flag and then broke down through it and then that break generated more downside selling pressure? I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. But at the end of the day, got to give credit where credit's due. Tesla is pushing upwards. But from the overarching standpoint, it's still below the purple line. It's still within a bear flag pattern. But the next couple of days look like they'll be quite interesting. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage there that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, we are looking at ticker symbol SYRS, and there's no doubt about it. This is a pretty rough looking chart to think that at one point the price had opened up here, ran all the way up there, and then this thing, some poor souls bought right there. Hopefully they were using stop losses. And now you have this big pullback here. But what makes this interesting, and for you long-time viewers, you've heard me say this before, there can be opportunity in the ugly. Those situations where nobody thinks it can get any, it'll never go up again. Everybody has waved the white flag, and that's where things can tend to turn around, and that's what we have here. So yes, a nasty, ugly pullback, but the price is right there at that pink line, the 200-period moving average. Now, does that mean that it's for sure guaranteed going to bounce? Of course not. That's why risk management matters. But is it plausible? Is it reasonable to think that the price could bounce off that level? That's a plausible thought to have, absolutely. And again, this is for disciplined trade. Really, all trading is for discipline. You better be disciplined. But that's a whole nother topic. But especially for situations like this, if you're not going to be disciplined, then you certainly should not even think about these ones. But from a risk-reward standpoint, if it keeps dropping, all right, you're out with your controlled risk. But if you get any sort of bounce in the upwards direction relative to what was being risked, you could be looking at a very interesting upside potential. So if you like penny stocks, if you like these sorts of situations where things are looking really ugly, but they're looking ugly at an area where there could potentially be a bounce, then keep an eye on it. Next one, looking at NIO, and very, very nice move today. Really a nice past couple of days. It's been building those higher highs, higher lows, and as I've made that comment already, from a broader standpoint, that's what it's all about. You want to see higher highs and higher lows, and mission accomplished so far. And whoops, right now we have another nice little pattern here in the very near term. So right now, the key level of resistance to keep an eye on, I would say, is that area of resistance right there. And then also at that same time, we have this little area of support. Let's change that to green, and then to maybe make the pattern hopefully easier to see, let's keep it one color here. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice upwards move right there. And then if you golfers make a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. We have ourselves a nice little bull pennant pattern. So bull pennant pattern in the very near term. Now, if the price does break to the downside, does that mean the entire chart's destroyed? Absolutely not. From the big picture standpoint, the price is still nicely above that purple line, 50-period moving average. And as time goes by and as that line moves higher and higher, as I mentioned earlier, if you just want to envision that as an overarching trend line, then as long as the price stays above that quote-unquote trend line, the overall trend is still plenty fine. But in terms of, hey, Clay, what would make the chart look the absolute best moving forward. Definitely if the price can consolidate out and then get a break to the upside. But again, that doesn't mean that unless that happens, the chart's broken. Nothing like that. That would just be the ideal situation. But all in all, very nice day here for NIO. Next one here, TSLL. Talked about this one in yesterday's video, and that's where the resistance trend line from right there is coming from. But you can see earlier on in the day, got the breakout through that level, came back down, a nice little back test of that area. And then from there, some upwards movement has been in store. Still has work to do as it's got to get up through that purple line. This is one, an ETF that's leveraged more. So if you want to trade Tesla in a very volatile way, then you could use this to do it. But point here being is it's finally at least gotten up through that trend line, which is a good step in the right direction. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that for now. But now moving forward, really in my mind, it's all about can the price at least get up through this level? Because as of now, this has been a pretty annoying level right here at about $8.40. If you go back and look through the history of things, you can see acted as resistance. Didn't hit it exactly, but I think we can all agree close enough, acted as resistance. And then once again, acted as resistance right there. So in the very near term, again, $8.40, I would say is that key level of resistance. But then also if the price breaks up through there, next level you'd want to watch is that purple line right there, 50 period moving average, which right now valued around the $9.25 mark. But all in all, it's at least gone sideways, which is a step in the right direction. And within going sideways, the price has build in some higher lows. So do these higher lows lead to a breakout to the upside? Grab your popcorn for Wednesday. Next one here, MSTU. Did this one in yesterday's video also, and you can see good solid action here. Earlier on in the day, that trend line you can see was still being very, very annoying. But then when the price was finally able to break above it right there, the rest is history, got the breakout, and has now been working its way higher and higher. Yes, from an overarching standpoint, there's still work that needs to be done. But relative to that trend line right there, good solid movement. So congratulations to anybody that took that trade. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And now moving forward, the key battlegrounds to watch from resistance standpoint, initial level, I would say right here around the $4.93 mark. But even if the price pushes through there, I wouldn't get too excited about it because not that far away. You then have the 50 period moving average right there that could potentially act as resistance. So you'll want to keep a close eye on that. But nonetheless, even if the price does push up through there, that's implying the price is now starting to push through areas of resistance. And that makes it more and more valid to suggest the bulls are back in town because that's what bulls do, right? They push through areas of resistance. So the more resistance levels that are broken, the more the argument can be made that the bulls are back. As of right now, yes, to be fair, there has been an upwards move here. But would I put a whole lot of trust in it? Personally, I would not because the price is still down below the moving averages here. But if the price can get above those areas, then that's where the argument begins to shift, where I can see a whole lot more credibility in the argument, hey, the bulls are back. But yes, good start here with a push to the upside. Can it continue to push moving forward? We'll see what happens. Next one here, HSAI, big mover today, and definitely got to think a lot of people are watching it. But as of right now, let me get the pattern drawn into play. So there's our area of resistance. Here is our area of support. This would be what I would classify as a rising wedge pattern, which is a bearish pattern. As I mentioned already, just because something's bearish does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go downwards. But if it does come down, that's still not a bad thing. Pullbacks are fine. Now, can pullbacks turn into reversals? They can, but a pullback in and of itself is not the same as a reversal. So case in point, and I'm not saying this will occur, but just for explanation's sake, let's say that the price did come down here, found some consolidation before curling back upwards. Yeah, the price pulled back. That's what the rising wedge was suggesting. But from the bigger picture standpoint, what would you still have? Well, you'd have a set of lows there. You'd have lows here. You'd have lows down here. And if you envision those as stair steps, from a big picture standpoint, you'd still be plenty fine. You'd still have progress being made in the upwards direction. So again, just because something is suggested to potentially pull back, that's not the same as a reversal. That's not the same as a crash. But also, just because it's a bearish pattern doesn't mean it's got to act in a bearish way at all. Just like a bullish pattern doesn't mean that the price has got to act in a bullish fashion either. But as of right now, I'd keep a very close eye on that upward trend line right there. As I speak, you can see the price is actually getting a little bit closer to potentially doing battle with it. But all in all, very impressive movement today. But I would still classify this as a as a rising wedge, which is bearish and suggests maybe some sort of pullback. So we'll see how things play out on Wednesday. So that wraps up the top 10 analysis. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be later this week, Thursday, March 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. Again, links down below to get signed up. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, make sure to hit that like button. And also, if you're looking for a super free and easy way to support the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as it really does help out. So thanks for watching, and make sure you go get signed up for that free class.